Hello, I'm Felicity Cohen. I'm so excited to introduce you to my Wellness Warriors podcast. For over 20 years, I've been a passionate advocate for helping thousands of Australians find solutions to treating obesity and health-related complications through surgical intervention and holistic managed care. My podcast is dedicated to all the people, past, present and future, who have helped shape my journey and continue to inspire me to work consistently to achieve a healthier Australia in both adults and future generations. I hope you enjoy it. Hello, my name's Felicity Cohen. I'm the CEO of Weight Loss Solutions Australia. Welcome to my Wellness Warriors podcast. On the podcast series, it's going to be my absolute pleasure to introduce you to patients who've touched my life over the course of my career, spanning over 20 years. Some of the patients I'm going to introduce you to may have had surgery close to 20 years ago, and some of them more recently in the last couple of years or so. Each of them has stories to tell that are so empowering and different and varied, but I know they're going to resonate with those of you who are struggling also with being overweight, whether it be just a little bit of weight, excessively overweight, or morbidly obese. Also on the series of podcasts, I would love to introduce you to medical professionals, surgeons, and others connected to the wellness story. So please stay with me. Today, I would like to introduce you to Adam Bilsborough, commonly known as Bilsy. His story is phenomenal. His story in life has been absolutely so fascinating to watch. Many of you might know of Bilsy as a Lego master. He recently appeared on the television series Lego Masters, and he's an absolute champion, but a champion in so many areas of his life. And probably one of the things that was letting him down the most was his weight, holding him back from really achieving many of his life goals. Watching him go through this weight loss journey and facing those troubles, dealing with them, moving forward and achieving so much more as he's gone through the last couple of years has just been empowering, exceptional and beautiful to watch. He's welcomed a beautiful daughter who's now 1 year of age, which is just fabulous, and I know he's got more energy than ever before to be able to deal with a growing family and the demands that we all know what that looks like as parents and as individuals managing work-life balance. Please make Adam welcome.
Hey, I am Bilsy. You may remember me or have seen me from the very famous, world famous TV show Lego Masters. I'm now 2 years post-op and I've lost 65 kilos in total and hopefully still coming down. For me in the last 2 years, it has been crazy and mind-blowing and unbelievable. Obviously when I first got the surgery, I started losing weight, started feeling better and all that kind of, the general weight loss stuff was happening and I was very happy with it. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, it was because, I've lost the weight or I feel better about myself or, maybe even people might look at me different. So many doors have opened up for me since then. I've been on the Lego Masters TV show. Now, obviously I'm very, I'm obsessed with Lego, we can say that safely, but I would have never tried to go for any sort of competition or anything before. I have a newborn baby, or she's 4 to 5 months old now as well. I've bought a house, we're getting married. It's a big roller coaster, but it's only getting better and better. I think the weight loss has significantly contributed to the way my life and lifestyle is because as I've lost weight and start to feel better about myself, I start to get more confident. I had confidence but I didn't have this level of confidence or this level of risk taking, I guess, before I had, the weight loss stuff. And the more weight I lose, and obviously, you start to feel better about yourself. I start to, do things that I didn't even think I could do before. And then it makes me always think, okay, what can I do next? How can I push myself even further? And when I get to a point and I think, I've got the best I can be, I've come to this level, and then all of a sudden, I've pushed that boundary again. So it's worked hand in hand with me pushing myself and even with weight loss, I lose more weight again, I start feeling better, I do something different with athletics or in exercise and being active, and it's like I didn't think I could do that. Like last time we talked, we were doing the electric skateboard stuff. Now I'm riding bikes 5, 6, 7 Ks further than I thought I would, you know what I mean? So it's just finding a new door, the next door, and finding what's next. So Lego Masters was filmed last year. It was on air TV this year. We started in October and it went for 2.5 months, so from October all the way almost until Christmas. And it was 6 and 7 days sometimes of straight filming from morning till night. And I've got to cut back to the weight loss things. If I was, before surgery, big, overweight, there's no way I would have been able to stand up and build Lego, or, go backwards and forwards to the build table, or stay awake that long, or, be half active. And although it's only building Lego, because it's such long days of filming and day in, day out, didn't stop, I felt that it did help a lot in the weight loss side of things. That, and I guess, I've got no big gut in front of me that's knocking Lego over on the table. Being on Lego Masters, you get noticed as a person as well. And I wanted to make notice, and I wanted to put out there from day one that, I actually had weight loss surgery. That's part of my backstory, get to know me more. And I've had plenty of magazine features. I've been on different podcasts. And I'm more than happy to come out and talk about the weight loss side of things. And even if people have found me through Lego Masters and then now, they might need weight loss surgery or they want to know more about it, I want to use that to my strength. I want to get the name and the word out there for other people that, they can contact me and we can talk about the weight loss surgery, the ups, the downs and all that kind of thing. So in a way, Lego's helped, Lego's awesome, but I feel that it's even better for me that now it's going to help me get a bigger reach to a bigger audience, for the weight loss. I made it into some magazines, and one of Australia's biggest magazines, I made it onto TV Week, whether it's a good thing or a funny thing or, oh my God, I made it onto the front cover of a magazine for TV Week for the weight loss. And they wrote a feature about my weight loss and stuff like that. So for me, first off, it was crazy that, I'm on TV for Lego Masters, but mainstream media want to talk to me about weight loss. And the best thing about that is, and reaching it out there, that they weren't afraid and they wanted me to talk about the actual weight loss surgery. And as you know, it's been a very taboo subject, or a bit, you can't talk about weight loss surgery, people look down on you and stuff like that. But from day one, I've always wanted to be the one to put myself out there to, get people to recognize and realize it's not, as bad as you think. It's not as black and white as you think. It's not a cheat or an easy way out. So to have the mainstream media contact me, sit down and have a chat about, weight loss surgery and how it's affected me, and from here on, it's a good eye opener and it's a start, you know what I mean? Like, give it a few years ago, this would have been buried. I wouldn't have even had a magazine interview, let alone not for Lego Masters, for the weight loss stuff. So for me, I think this is an amazing step in the right direction. So yeah, when we did last chat and I told you that I was very happy with radio, happy sitting in my little studio or behind the box, behind the mic, using my voice as me, I was very happy doing that. But now, once, my whole lifestyle's changed and the way I think about myself has changed, whether it be I've lost weight because my ego's getting bigger, or I feel better about myself, whatever you want to call it, I want to be on stage in front of cameras now. I was on TV for the Lego Master show, and one thing, if anyone's like, is there anything you regret or you miss or you wish you'd done more? I wish I was on TV more. I wish more people seen me on TV, you know what I mean? So taking from there, it's kind of given me the bug where it's like, okay, I want to work on TV now. I want to be, I would love to be a children's TV show presenter. I think that's what, I think out of all the TV options you could have, I think that would be one of my favorite gigs that I'd aim for next. My life now, getting noticed as a celebrity, it's funny because I've been on radio for 10 years, so a lot of people know my voice, but it's not like I walk around saying, hey, what's up? My name's Bilsy, how you going? You know what I mean? But now walking around, because people know what I look like and they're picking up my visual features, just today, I'll be walking in a shopping centre, there'll be kids and mums saying, hey, that's it's Bilsy from Lego Masters, can we go say hello, can we get a photo and stuff? And I'm more than happy to stop and take photos, but I like it. I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's with open arms. It's a good feeling to walk around and people notice me, but not be ashamed of what I look like at the same time. There's a lot of limitations, when you're so fat. Bottom line is, you're extremely obese. Life puts you pause. What can you do other than sitting around and feeling sorry for yourself? So for me, I tried to push myself to go out and experience and have, fun days and theme parks and stuff. And one thing out of a lot of the, negatives of being overweight was I couldn't go on fun rides. You go to a theme park and you'd see everyone having fun. I went to Japan with my partner, and Disneyland and Universal, and went to all the big ones, but I could never go on any rides because the safety catches couldn't fit. If it's not safe, you're not going to be allowed on. So literally 1 month ago, me and a couple of friends went to Japan. We did Disneyland, we did Universal, we went to a Legoland, we went to a roller coaster theme park, and we rode everything. It was the best. And it was like, I didn't even have to worry about checking the seats. It's just go line up, get on the ride, go line up, get on the ride. And then it's like, I'm lining up again, we're going again. So now it's catch up time. It's, what theme park haven't I done? What one can I go to next? And it was a good feeling. And it got to the point where it's like, yeah, cool. I get, roller coasters are scary for people, or, the adrenaline rush. And it's like, I need more now. I can fit on it. What's next? What's the next weight limit thing? And it just becomes addictive, I guess. And now, luckily living on the Gold Coast, I've got 3 theme parks just down the road, which I haven't gone to yet. So they are the next on the list. So one thing that did definitely come up when a lot of people talk to me first about weight, and heaps of people can relate, is obviously I was that big guy you don't want to sit next to on a flight. My sides roll over your handle, or my legs are that wide that they're touching your legs. And I was that guy. It's like, oh my god, I don't want to sit next to him. And it made me feel bad because you don't want to upset someone else that might be going on the holiday of their lifetime, but for the first couple of hours on the flight, they're all like, you know what I mean? Now, to me, economy feels like business. It's like, this is leg room. What's this leg room? And I'm comfortable and I can fit and it's funny because I was so big mid-body, big butt, big legs, big. So you pushed in and you it's very, the seat kind of is right here. The seats didn't move, the seats didn't change, but I changed, I got thinner. So for me, it's kind of like, okay, I'm sitting back now, there's more. The drop table never used to be able to come down. I never used to be able to have the table tray. That was always, you got to kind of eat like this, so to speak. Now, I can drop it down and bring it forward. From day one, pretty much of my journey, because I wanted to be so open about it and transparent, I started a YouTube and a Instagram channel called The Losers Bench. So you can follow me on The Losers Bench AU. And I wanted to document and vlog every step, every milestone as it went through. One, for me to look back and realize how far I've come, because when you lose weight, you could tell you're losing weight, but you don't realize the weight you've lost, or even your journey from how much you've covered until where you're at. But you go back and I want to look and see different milestones that I was at. And one thing with my vlogs, and because they're getting shared quite well, I've had a lot of people approach me saying, oh, I love this video about, you showed us how to eat this and this, or I love this video about exercising differently compared to, someone that's very fit, or in general, just lifestyle stuff. And it's really good because I've had a lot of people, 2 different, and most of them have either one out of 2 questions. One is always, they want to be part of the video, or, can you help me because I want to document my own journey. Or 2 is there's a few major questions where people are like, how do you feel after surgery? Like more people that haven't had the surgery yet that are looking to jump into it. And I'd love to help them and tell them and guide them, the ups and downs. But overall, I tend to get people to watch most of my videos because I've covered a lot of subjects in my video, so almost every question is answered. But it's still really good that people come to me saying they've either got inspiration or you're the reason. I was thinking about it for the last 3 or 4 years, but after watching your videos, I've decided, yep, let's do it. And I've almost lost count of how many people that not helped, but hopefully enticed or encouraged because I was so scared about getting the surgery. I wanted to be living proof of, yes, you can. We'll see one crazy thing, and this kind of puts everything in massive perspective and kind of joins it all together. I'm actually getting married in New York. So it ticks off the flight, it ticks off a traveling, it'll tick off the suit, and it will tick off the photos. I know, giving myself a big head, I know I'm going to look good in my wedding photos. If not, we've got Photoshop. I found that the number one problem with a lot of people, they're scared to have surgery. They're scared, of dying on the surgery table. They're scared of the complications afterwards. If you ask me now, honestly, out of all the things directly related to the surgery, what would I regret? Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Yeah, you're in bed for 2 or 3 days. What's 2 or 3 days for the rest of your life? But there's not one thing that I regret, and I actually wish I got it done earlier. And anybody that asks, I've been thinking about it, should I get it? Totally. I want to back everyone 100%. And this is where it comes back to my videos or to having chats or meeting people in the street. You know, I'm here. I'm an open book. Whatever question you have, hit me up with it. Ask me. You know, because some people are like, you know, another question is, family look down on them about, you know, my family don't like me getting the surgery. They think I'm cheating. It's the easy way out. It's not a miracle. You know, you're not gonna become an athlete in a year's time and lose weight. You still have to work on your food. You still have to work on your exercise. But your family might be a bit angry at first, or your partner might be angry at first, but in 12 months, 2 years time, you know, you're there, you're healthier, you're not laying in bed dying, you're doing things together more often. So sometimes you kind of got to bite your bottom lip and just be like, you know, just do it. Just, yes, get in there, do it, get it done. You might upset a few people at first, and that, you know, that could be a hiccup, but it's well worth the payoff in the end. I've seen people that their partner's like, if you get the surgery, I'm leaving. You know, first off, should they be your partner, really? But family, you know, you can't pick and choose your family. And I know a lot of families get upset with some people that are like, you know, don't get the surgery, you're cheating, you know, don't want you to go under the knife, or this and this can happen. But you find a lot of them people are very old school as well, you know, with the older surgeries that don't really work very well anymore, or just all a lot of people remember are bad stories. You know, I mean, I can give you 100 success stories for every one bad story, but it's just the way people think. You know, there's a lot of bad stories, and that's what they stick to. But at the end of the day, you're doing this for no one else but yourself. You know, you block out all the bad thoughts, block out everything, because there really is no downsides to it. You know, you're changing your life for a 100% better life. Even if you don't lose as much weight as I did, even if you lose more weight than I did, you know, take the weight out of it. You've lost the chance of, you might have diabetes getting into, so I'm 35. If I stayed fat, I guarantee I would have had type 2 diabetes by now, no doubt about it. You know, take the social side of things. When was the last time you went to the cinemas and felt comfortable? The last time you took a flight and didn't upset the person next to you, you know what I mean? So you can go from a medical point of view, a social point of view, wearing your clothes point of view, and like I said, I don't even know what doors. I never knew last year that Lego Masters was going to open a door for me, you know what I mean? And now, national TV, what can open for you? You don't realize what's in front of you until you do it. So, you know, get it done, and then just sit back even and watch your life change. There's not one person I haven't met that hasn't changed their life drastically, not to plan. You know what I mean? No one had the weight loss surgery and think, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to become a pilot and an instructor, and I'm going to go and do all these amazing crazy things. You know, you lose the weight and you let the good stuff happen. One big statement I want to put out there is, yes, you can get the surgery. Yes, you can go into the future blind, because everything that happens from that weight loss is amazing. So, you know, yes, you can look forward to what you don't know. Yes, you can do it because you're doing it for yourself. Don't worry about, you know, outside influences. Don't worry about friends and worry about friends and family, but know at the end of the day that yes, you can get this done on your own accord, on your own merit, because you know it's going to be better for you. You want to be a Lego master? No, you can't.
Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today, Adam, and thank you to our listeners for joining us also. I really think some of the most fascinating parts of Adam's story are that weight loss has been a key for him to being able to be exposed on a national television program and gaining the notoriety that's gone with that. Had he not lost the weight, I don't believe that Adam would ever have had the self-confidence to even approach something like Lego Masters. So to see this as an incredible achievement in life post-weight loss has been absolutely fantastic. It's been a pleasure for me to introduce Adam to you today. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe to Wellness Warriors and share with all your friends. Thank you for joining the Wellness Warriors podcast. It's been a pleasure to have you online with us. If you've enjoyed the series, please leave your review, subscribe and follow, and we look forward to sharing many more stories with you in the future.